let me proceed a little bit. And what I'm about to say is going to sound quite antinomian. And for those of you who don't know what antinomian is, don't worry. This is it. This is antinomian. Do you know what it means or no?
No.
You think I'm making it up, right? Who said yes? Antinomian means it's against normal legal practices. What I'm going to say is very dangerous. It's very dangerous in terms of Jewish thought. And nobody can walk out now for the next, at least till I tell you can, because if you walk out now, then you will not understand what I'm trying to communicate. Okay, everybody's ready then? We have a deal. You shouldn't go to sleep either in the middle, but that I can't control. Or at least I'm not willing to. We said that Abraham kept the entire Torah. I don't know how to understand that idea. On the one hand, it's completely possible that Abraham kept the entire Torah. That on Passover he sat and had a Seder, and on Rosh Hashanah he blew the shofar, and on Yom Kippur he fasted, and so on. Any of you who feel that that's somewhat unlikely, or you feel difficulty with that idea, I can understand that completely. What I would suggest, and I'm not saying this as... I am saying it. I'm saying it as an alternative to the other idea, but either way, what I'm about to say must be true, as a minimum. Perhaps Abraham and Isaac and Jacob and Sarah and Rivka and Rachel and Leah, they accomplished spiritually everything that could be accomplished if you kept the Torah. That doesn't necessarily mean they kept the Torah. And you realize the danger in what I'm saying right now. Because if I suggest that they accomplished what a person could accomplish by keeping the Torah, and they did not necessarily keep the Torah, then of course the logical conclusion will be that perhaps I can do the same thing. Right? That's why it's dangerous. That's why it's antinomian. It's against the normal legal strictures. If God created the world with a spiritual reality to it, if God, as we like to say in Torah sources, that God looked into the Torah and then created the world. The Torah for me is a part of God's mind. The Torah has a superficial side to it, and the Torah has incredible depth to it. There are 613 commandments, 248 positive, 365 negative. Each one of the positive commandments creates a positive spiritual aspect to my life. Each one of the 365 negative commandments harms me, but each one in a different way. Or we'll use that same word again, each one in a unique way. The reason why there are 248 commandments, because there are 248 ways that my soul can be elevated. 365 negative ones, there's 365 negative things that could happen to my soul. Each one is different. When I perform a commandment, it could be that I don't know what I am doing when I'm doing that commandment. That's not very good. But that's the way that many people live their lives Jewishly. They simply go and do things. It's not very good. It's not very bad either. But you can do other things superficially, which could be worse. But it's there's something lacking over there. If I do a commandment properly, it fixes something within my soul. If enough people do it properly, it fixes something within the world. Abraham was able to accomplish each one of these things because of his profound spirituality, and you're going to accuse me again of not giving definitions to things, of Abraham's humanity and Abraham's greatness and his relationship with God. He was able to keep the entire Torah, not necessarily in form, but in content. Do you understand what I'm saying by this? He was able to accomplish within his soul what each one of those commandments were meant to accomplish within a human soul. That's what Abraham accomplished within his life. Once the Torah was given, we received a new mandate. Now, if you want to fix something within your soul, this is the way of doing it. And there is no other way of doing it, which means that if there is a God, and God did create a world, and God has a purpose in creating the world, and God gave us a Torah, each thing that we do creates a relationship or is part of this relationship, and there is no other way of accomplishing once the Torah is given. Avram, who exists before the Torah is given, understands through his sensitivity about God and is able to forge in his relationship through his incredible creativity. See, the danger is in modern times there are many people who want to try to do the same thing. You know what? Let's be very, very generous. Maybe they'll get lucky. Maybe 1 out of the 613 they'll be able to accomplish without doing the commandment. Maybe 2, maybe 3. Most people can't. Most people end up instead creating self-styled relationships. By the way, there's a word for this. When you create your own way of relating to God, now this is very, very dangerous because I'm very close to what I said before. You need to be unique. And now I'm saying that if you create something by yourself, you know what it's called? It's called idolatry. When you make avodah zarah. What does the word avodah zarah mean? If anybody has a technical meaning, the words avodah zarah, what does it mean? Avodah means strange worship. It doesn't mean avodah zarah, because the word avodah can either mean work or can mean worship. Okay? Avodah. So therefore, there's 2 types. When the Jews made that calf, what did they say? According to most commentaries, they felt the calf was an intermediary and not allowed them to relate to God. Why was that intermediary not accepted? Because God didn't tell them to do it. If God didn't tell them to do it, what is it? Strange work. Avodah zarah. Avodah zarah is when you create your own way of relating to God that God didn't ask for. Now, if that's the case, then how do I solve this dilemma? How on the one hand can I be unique, and how on the other hand am I allowed to create my own way of doing things? So therefore, what I'm pointing out, and I'm saying there is a very thin line between what I'm saying. On the one hand, once I have 613 commandments, okay? Once I have 613 commandments, each person will relate to them somewhat differently. One person, the highlight of their year is when they walk into the sukkah. Sitting in the sukkah is something which they relate to incredibly. Okay, eating matzah, they'll do it because it's a commandment, but it's not the same. Somebody else eating matzah is the greatest part of their year. The sukkah is not so good. But what I'm saying is that different people will relate to different things, but all of those are basically following that which God commanded.